This is Chibi Reviews. I follow him. He's a pretty cool anime dude. And this is pertaining to the government and their response to censorship. And they say, we don't care and you have no rights. So there is something that he has... what I like to say about this whole censorship with anime and video games, we have an ability to fight this whole thing. And I think we'll hear about this in this video. Let's go ahead and go do this.
And of course, mouthwashing got yoinked from itch search results. Not surprised, was kind of waiting for it to happen. To be clear, itch has been backed into a corner and had no other option. The issue lies with...
Mouthwashing is a video game that was widely known through Steam. I think it's still up on Steam right now. I don't know for how long. But notice how the censorship with video games, like, even if the game is not even, like, hentai, like, even if it's not, like, adult-themed, it's even pouring over to the horror genre of video games, because there are good storytelling elements that you can tell pertaining to dark sort of themes, but even mouthwashing that's not a hentai game, even it's being yoinked from itch.io. So let's read this.
The MasterCard, Visa, and with Collective Shout, who pushed payment processors to do this. Your anger should be directed towards them. You remember that slippery slope I was talking about, and how people that were fine with adult games being banned? Well, horror games are being targeted now, and it's going to get much worse before it gets any better. Dude, this story is evolving day by day, honestly, hour by hour at this point. It's getting worse and worse. In just this last week alone, like, I made a post talking about this, but in this last week alone...
under the current standards, you can't even make another Dead Space. True! You have a point there, because women were involved in the Dead Space. Like, what do you do in this sort of circumstance where you can't design your own... Now you have restrictions on making your own story or making your own video game. You can't have anything bad happen to the women. By the way, I do appreciate the fact that everybody, including the people that don't side with us, the gooners, the non-gooners, all these other, the left, the right, it doesn't matter. Everybody, even Anita Scarsazian, I don't know, whatever the fuck that lady's name is, even she is against what Collective Shout is doing, which is crazy to know. I mean, I wish we could work together, but at the same time, fuck them.
So much has happened. I mean, you can pause the video and read this for yourself. Like, this is just a brief summary of the... Collective
Shout contact payments processors to get Steam and itch.io to remove adult games. By the way, if we contact payment processors back, I think the biggest thing that we need to do is to contact Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal and show exactly the opposite of what Collective Shout has been saying, because what Visa, MasterCard, and these payment processors are supposed to be, they're supposed to be a tool. The last thing I want is for them to make their own pseudo government and to, like, do their own, like, sort of, like this is reaching into corporatism to where it's just like they're just making their own sort of like I wouldn't say religion, but like I said, their own government where they choose what we should be able to buy, which is illegal to say the least. But anyway, let me continue. Steam removes one. Email your payment processors and tell them how you feel. But like I said, when you do email your payment processors, you have to be kind. Do not try to do this whole yelling at them and just saying a bunch of cuss words and shit. They're not going to read it. But be precise with what you need from your payment processors is what I'm saying. The one thing that these payment processors can't stand, they already got money. What they can't stand is what's the word I'm looking for? Optics. That they can't stand bad optics. Steam removes hundreds of games and creates an entirely new policy to lick the boots of payment processors Day later, itch.io removes their entire adult game category. UK Online Safety Act, yeah, that's another thing. Within 24 hours, UK creates a like. I just like the fact that how fast these fucking policies are just happening. Like how fucking like there was no room for even like disputing this. I just find this fucking fascinating how quick this is going. Wikipedia is being asked to censor itself for the UK. What the fuck, bro? Search engines are now stuck in safe mode for certain countries, restricting internet. Are we in Iran now? Mouthwashing, a horror game on itch.io, is removed thanks to payment processors and collective shout. Jesus.
Events in the last week and a half. That's not including what, V here even commented on other stuff that is related to the topic that has happened too. It is legitimately horrifying.
They're banning VPNs like
is getting censored.
They're banning VPNs like Val just said. Yeah.
It is reaching all forms of entertainment, and every government seems to be trying to get itself involved in this. You have payment processors obviously involved, you have activist groups involved. It is back to back, and at this point, anyone assuming it's not going to affect you is just lying.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to affect everyone.
Affecting everybody on every side of entertainment, the left, the right, down the middle. It's
Exactly.
affecting adult games, non-adult games. It's affecting anime. It's affecting manga. It's affecting books. It's affecting the internet. It's affecting Wikipedia. It's affecting so many different things, which is just... it's crazy. Just, like I said, this is stuff that's happened in just the last week and a half. Insane. So let's talk about mouthwashing first, because I think it's very important to the subject matter before I go into anything else. Those that thought that the censorship would stop at, let's say, adult content, or
it was not going to stop.
For instance, stuff like on Steam that has, like, let's say, incest games, or stuff that just shows nudity, it's very clear that it wouldn't stop there. Anyone that actually has a working frontal lobe or working brain would have known this. But obviously, there is a lot of people that truly believe before this happened that it was never going to affect anything they love or enjoy. But it's...
I have to preface this, is that they're collective, like, I don't really care too much about collective shout. I care about the payment processors, but like I said before, collective shout literally just said that they're okay with cuties, but they're not okay with fake characters in video games regarding like the incest hentai games and all that stuff. Like they would attack the furries with their furry video games, but they're not going to uphold the whole thing with cuties, which involves actual real life children. I just find that fucking hilarious is all I'm saying.
Clear that now censorship is creeping its way into the horror game category on, itch.io, and most likely Steam will be soon to follow as well. It's only a matter of time until maybe stuff like Coffin of Andy and Lele is, targeted too, but let's talk about strictly mouthwashing and the individual that is breaking this news to everyone to see. So this individual here, Martin, is someone that has actively worked on the game. He's made the music of mouthwashing, and for those that are unaware of mouthwashing, I'm going to get you up to speed, but for those that are aware of it, or have played the game, or watched content creators talk about the game, even Asmongold has talked about the game, then you're probably aware of this individual. You probably even recognize this Twitter account, and I will explain that in a moment. But this is someone that's worked on mouthwashing, that is a very popular horror indie game, psychological, that just made a lot of waves on the internet. And around that same time, there was some art controversy, and Asmongold talked about it, and this was the response that Martin made to Asmongold when he found out that Asmongold was talking about the art controversy and people being harassed for making art of mouthwashing. This is what Martin, aka the same individual that, is upset that mouthwashing was removed, this is what they said a few months back. They said, the anti-woke crowd has found the game.
It doesn't matter. We're all on the same side. If you disagree with Asmongold back then, you're gonna change your mind real quick, because Asmongold not only I get it, you don't like the anti-crowd. We've already heard about this whole thing. I get it, he didn't like the anti-crowd back then. He probably still doesn't know now. But Asmongold actually indeed liked his game and actually played his game from start to finish. So his whole thing is null and void right now. All I care about is the payment processors. That's all I care about right now. So yeah, we're gonna skip that.
Heavily disagree with what Martin said here, and a lot disagree with to anyone else that just is pro-censorship. The thing is I'm not going to advocate for censorship of this content. In fact,
No.
I am still going to fight for mouthwashing to be uncensored and allowed to exist on a platform, because, as I've been saying, it's fictional content.
It's fictional content. It's not real.
Exist, doesn't hurt no one, and just because it has uncomfortable themes, taboo storylines, or anything like that does not mean it shouldn't exist.
Game of Thrones had uncomfortable scenes as well. Billions of people watched Game of Thrones. Imagine that. So, I just find it crazy that people can't realize how far-reaching this can go. But they're gonna find out soon enough. It's only gonna get worse from here.
And so, regardless of Martin's statement here, and maybe if he was an idiot or he is an idiot for making these statements, it's not going to change me fighting
Doctor Who too?
for
Yeah, Doctor Who as well.
And fighting for anime, manga, and games, and books, and everything to not be censored. So, I'm just going to say that right now. So, for those that are going to be quick to trying to cheer for mouthwashing being censored, do not do that, because that's exactly what payment processors, what these activist groups, and what these...
I don't think anybody is, but if they are, that's kind of sad to hear. I think what we need to do now is come together and actually email the payment processors and actually get a actually, I get it. We don't have to side with, we don't have to make an allegiance with like left-leaning like radicals or anything, but we do have to realize that we all need to email our own payment processors, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and let them know, hey, what Collective Shout is doing is in the wrong. And I bet even if Collective Shout was not even around, Visa and MasterCard would still do it, maybe, possibly down the road. But I do strongly believe that we can harm Visa and MasterCard's optics and then have this thing turned around.
Governments want you to do. They want you to fight amongst others and pick sides for you're distracted and don't actually talk about the real issue, which is obviously these payment processors and government overreach.
Val says the biggest problem I've seen these laws in the UK is that everything is dependent on the subjectivity of something. It generally feels like society is becoming the Twitch TOS rather than the genuine laws. True, it does feel like that. Also, they treat the law as in, just like with Collective Shout, where they do this whole thing where it's like rules for thee but not for me sort of thing, where they're just like, oh, you guys have to obey this TOS, and then everybody goes, well, what about them? Oh, they're fine. That's how it feels. It doesn't even feel like an actual, this doesn't even feel like an actual sort of law. It just feels like a bunch of neglecting their own children sort of mothers are going on here and saying like, well, my child, I heard somebody, a woman say, well, my child would look at stuff like this and he killed himself. And I'm like, well, that's your own fault. If I had kids and one of my kids killed themselves, I wouldn't blame it on the fucking adult cartoons that he's looking at. I would blame myself, because I'd be like, I wish I was there for my kid. This is how you take care of this is how you become a responsible adult. This is how you take accountability for your own children's safety and stuff like that, and realize, oh man, if only I was there for my son or daughter to take care of her. It's not the adult themes on the internet. It is just not. Yes, I can recognize that. If anything, the only time that I feel like somebody is actually in danger online is when it comes to what's like two things. Social media, when it comes to people telling other people to go kill themselves or something like that. I don't like that. And the other one would be like social media when it comes to people telling other people to go kill themselves. I do not like that. And the other one would be what is it? It was on the tip of my tongue. Well, the other one would just be accountability for people's own children. If you don't want them to look at it, you need to educate your children. Sometimes you need to go up to your children and be like, listen, you're going to look up the stuff anyway, so I want to be there when you look it up. Okay, this stuff is this. This stuff, I want to educate you on this stuff. This is this. If you want to look at this, fine, I get it, you're 16, but realize that you need to go out inside and touch grass. These people, if they say something mean online, don't take it seriously. Just, you know, remember that we love you, and then just go about your life. Don't let them dictate how you should live. I feel like parents should start being parents and stop doing this whole angle where we should just let the government take care of our children. I feel like we keep on having this conversation, don't we? We keep on having this conversation.
UK is now requesting American companies like Rumble, for instance, to censor themselves for the UK's laws of Online Safety Act to protect kids. Now, I already made a big video on this topic the other day. I'm not going to be retreading old ground and discussing everything I did in those videos and everything that the UK government and other governments have been doing. What I mainly want to say here is that the UK has obviously tried to now, instead of just affecting their people within their country, they're trying to press their will to other countries as well, and trying to get politicians, lawmakers, companies and stuff within America to do the exact same thing, aka censor fictional content, to censor the internet, to request age verification, all these different type of things. And it's clear that this, you know, politician right here, you know, Jim, is trying to fight back against this. You can even see him making a thread and talking about this, so it's very clear that he doesn't like what the UK is trying to do. But the point of the matter is that UK is not stopping just at the country, which has already kind of been obvious. I mean, Europe is affected already. There's many people now within social media platforms that are finding out that they no longer can access the internet properly, even if they don't live in UK, they just live in Europe, and they need either age verification or other ways to get around it, maybe VPNs, which is the next topic to talk about, VPN crackdown. So a lot of people in Europe...
this is something that we were actually talking about a while ago. So... yeah, VPNs, like, I'm pretty sure Val already knows this, but they're also cracking down on VPNs, which is really concerning, because, oh man, this is, I strongly feel like the Wild West of the internet is just gone now, and, I mean, it was just a matter of time, but we'll see. Let's keep going.
Has been trying to circumvent the restricted internet with the Online Safety Act with VPNs, and anyone that has been on YouTube or online in general has probably heard of VPNs like NordVPN and stuff. I'm not a sponsor, just saying, but basically people have heard about VPNs being able to change your region and all that to be able to bypass, you know, certain restrictions of countries. You know, you hear this all the time. However, apparently
it'll push people to Tor, which is the actual Wild West and dark web. I don't think too many people know anything about Tor yet, but we'll see.
Like the United Kingdom, you know, UK is trying to block or ban VPNs to some degree. They have apparently requested Cloudflare, that is a big server hosting for like some VPNs and stuff, to effectively stop allowing VPNs.
So basically right now they're trying to find a way to basically get, not only are they trying to monitor a whole bunch of people on the internet, which is fucking scary, by the way, but they're also, how are we supposed to determine whether or not they're keeping the information that we put on the internet is going to be safe? Because we already know that that shit's not gonna fucking work. That shit's not gonna slide. It's like, oh yeah, we need your verification and your ID and all this nonsense. Trust me, bro. Like, it's like a big ass trust me, bro, that they're gonna keep our information to make sure to let you know that you're an adult. We need your ID, your you know, your visual and all that stuff. And I'm over here just like, that as soon as there's like some sort of DDoS, kind of like with PlayStation, as soon as there's a moment where like, it's like, oh, we need all your information, because, which is fucking scary. We need all your information in order for you to view this sort of content. And then that information gets out. There goes Visa and MasterCard's fucking optics right there.
which is a pretty big deal. So basically, UK is trying to get around or try to stop people from getting around their law with VPNs, which is a huge problem. That is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Insane. But then we also know that Europe is going to be doing the exact same thing. There is a law that is in place now within Europe, and you know, sites have a certain amount of time to be able to place in age restrictions in Europe. So Europe is probably going to soon to follow this as well when it comes to VPNs. That's not even getting into the fact of Australia. Australia is also doing the exact same thing that apparently is going to be happening like later.
Of course they're gonna do it. That's where Collective Shout is. Bro, I feel so sorry for all those spiders in Australia. Hats off to them. Hats off to the spiders. Good luck out there.
This year or next year.
All those Karens over there.
Exact time frame, but they already have a law in place that's going to be becoming law, you know, for doing the exact same thing that the UK has done. And then obviously that's not going to talk about the bill that's currently in Congress for the United States that is trying to get passed as well to restrict the internet too. So it's back-to-back stuff that is just getting worse and worse as time goes on, as we can clearly see. And obviously those that think they can get around this by using VPNs, it's very obvious that it's not going to be a solution much longer. Now, I don't think they'll be able to ban every single VPN. There'll probably always be some form of workarounds, but the point of the matter is that these governments are also now trying to, at the very least, go after VPNs, which is a big deal. Now, what gets much worse about this whole situation
Worse than that?
This. So, my good friend Rumblings, he showcased this. This is where I first found out. But apparently, the United Kingdom responded to the petition to repeal the Online Safety Act. For those that don't know what's going on here, basically, the Online Safety Act, which I've been...
Repeal the Online Safety Act. We want the government to repeal that. Parliament will consider this for a debate. Parliament considers all petitions that get more than 100... Man, you're almost at the 400,000. The government is working with Ofcom to ensure that online in-scope services are subject to robust
discussing is what's restricting the internet, you know, in the UK. So residents in United Kingdom, they put a petition to basically say, hey, you need to repeal this, and force the government to respond.
That's good.
Well, after 355,000 signatures from individuals in the United Kingdom, you had the government finally respond. You can see the response here.
Yeah.
And the response as follows. Basically, to just summarize this giant paragraphs, is that, oh, we hear you, we know you're upset, but think of the children. That's...
They're afraid. You signed this, Val? Good on you. Good on you. Good on you. If you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, sign this. Sign this. I'm letting you know right now. Fight for your fucking right now, because it's only going to get harder from here on out. You need to fight for your right now and sign for this. And the fact that they responded to this means they're scared. They did the same thing to stop killing games. They did the same thing. They did the same thing where they said, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter, we're the people. You're the people that pay taxes. What happens when people stop paying taxes? What happens? What happens if everybody in the UK or Europe stopped paying taxes? They don't know what the fuck to do. They honestly don't know what the... I'm saying if everybody... I'm not saying some people. Everybody just stopped... These are taxpayers. What if everybody just stopped paying taxes? Think about it. Within 24 hours, they would change their fucking mind. Because they care about optics. They care about money. So the fact that they gave you this long-ass paragraph saying, think of the children, they don't give a fuck about the children. This is not about the children at all. And by the way, take care of your own fucking children. Better yet, homeschool your children. They have to respond. They don't actually care. This government is generally technocratic, feudal warlords. That's a mouthful, but yes, you're right.
That's pretty much what they said. They just did a long, giant word diarrhea of just saying, we're not going to listen to you, screw you, we are protecting the children, it doesn't matter, and we will continue to do what we're doing, and basically becoming a police state. So it's just some very gross stuff going on, and I want to reiterate this for those that need to hear. It's actually a good thing that they posted to you. It's actually a really good thing that they posted to you, because you are actually having an effect. They do have to do, I'm gonna let you in on something. If you signed a repeal and the taxpayers, which is whoever's in the EU, if the taxpayers say, hey, we have triple the amount or quadruple the amount of people that signed this petition, repeal this. They can't go, nah, we're just kidding, because they know if they just straight up ignore their own people, that's gonna be a clusterfuck. They know this. So it's a good thing that they actually talk to you. Hear this if that haven't. But anyway, I want to end it right here. If you want to read the rest of this, watch the rest of this, I'm going to send it to you right now. Chibi reviews, even Madam Savvy, all really good, really good, like people to get information from. They're doing God's work. We really do need to push back on this sort of stuff. We really do. But we have more stuff to talk about.